Suppose if you are working on Visual Builder application and trying to build a view form or a page wherein you want to display the data from a previous request on a page on a single select component that is on load of a page. Here in this case, I am displaying the employee name as Wilson, that is Michael Wilson, whose employee ID I'm passing over here in the input parameter 5. Suppose if I tell 6 and click on set parameter, on page load it is saying some other employee name. So this I'm fetching from my database. So employee ID 8 is Jessica Martinez, 7 is William Lee. Suppose if I change to 10, it will update as Sophia and click on set parameter. Here it's saying Sophia Garcia is the employee number 10. So this value I have attached over here, the employee ID which I'm setting over here. Suppose if I remove the employee ID, then it will show all the employees. Suppose if you are trying to build a common page which will be used for creating a request as well as viewing the existing request, then this concept will be very useful. We will see how we can auto-populate the select single component when we are trying to populate the previous data in the page. So with this, we can make use of the same component, that is to create a new data as well as to view the existing data. Let's see how I have done the same. First of all, I will show you my ORDS REST API. I have created this get employees template which is accepting get HTTP method, and this is a simple query. You have to make sure you create one bind parameter in which you have to check employee ID is null or employee ID could be passed from the page. So this will be useful because employee ID is null will be used in order to create the fresh data. Suppose if you are creating a same page for create and view purpose, then employee ID will be null, wherein you are allowing user to select which will be the employee. I will select Emily Davis or any other employee. That is for create. Suppose if you are viewing the existing data, then the user might have selected employee ID 4 as the employee, that is Emily Davis. Let me just change to 10 over here. Now it's Sofia Garcia. So there could be n number of requests which has been raised previously, and on load of the page you have to show the appropriate data using the select single component. So this purpose we have to create the bind parameter like this. Is null or employee ID could be passed from the page. Now this is the first thing. Second is you have to configure your ORDS API over here in the Visual Builder. Let me just walk you through this. This is the get. Coming to the request, we are having one query parameter, that is what I have defined over here. So similar concept you can make use in order to auto-populate from the Fusion REST API as well. Suppose if you master how to auto-populate select single component with ORDS API, then Fusion API is very easy. Coming to the test, I will test over here, send request, I'm getting all the employees. Suppose if I tell I want to get the employee 10, then it will show the employee number 10 detail. So this is what we want our ORDS API to behave like. So either employee ID could be null, that is while accessing the fresh data, or it could be one of the employee IDs what user has selected. Let me just go to the page over here. From here, I will drop the fresh select single component, that is like this. Go to the options, we have to select our ORDS API, click on next. Here I will tell employee name is my label, employee ID is my ID. Go to next. Here I will create one more bind parameter, that is to pass in the query param. I will tell emp underscore ID underscore new, that is for demonstration. It is of type number. Click on create, and this I will pass to our query parameter, that is employee ID. Done. Click on finish. Now here if you see, if I just click on this, it is coming nothing. Let me see the inspect. If you look at the all that has made, it has sent employee ID as undefined. Because in JavaScript, when we create any variable and it is not initialized, then the value will be undefined. So in order to change the behavior, let us go to this SDP. So we had mapped this employee ID new to employee ID. Here we will check whether it is null. If we check null, it will check whether it is undefined or empty. If it is null, we will pass null. Otherwise, we will pass this new employee ID data. Click on save. Then also we will try to enable this, because while testing from here, we will try to populate from this page itself. While testing, we will try to enable this employee ID number from here. Now I will click on this. I will get all the employee data from here. Suppose I click on this, it will store the data over here in the employee ID. That is, if you go to this, so we can attach this what we have selected over here. Suppose if I click on again, it will allow me to select any of the employees. Now I will tell I want to see only employee whose employee ID is 7. Click on set parameter. It is not displaying because we have to make sure the variable which we are assigning over here to the query parameter. So same we have to attach to the select single component. That is over here under the values. Let me just select this and populate this emp ID new. Click on save. Now here you will say William Lee is the employee number 7. Let's verify. So it's William Lee is the employee number 7. Suppose I will tell I want employee whose employee ID is 1. Click on set param. John Doe is the person whose employee ID is 1. Also one more thing, you have to make sure the value what you are assigning over here, it should be equal to the key attributes what you have defined over here. If it is matching to the key parameter, that is the value what you have in the select single selection, then only it will match in the response and it will show on the screen. So what is happening is here when you tell employee ID new value is 1, then it will make a call to the Fusion REST API. That is, it will pass employee ID 1 as a query parameter, and in the response it will get this data wherein it will match again this value employee ID new 1. So it will see if any employee ID 1 is there in the response. If it is there, then that employee name it will show on the here select single component. That is what we have mentioned over here. Suppose if you want to show the age of the employee, then we can just replace this with the age. It will show the age of the person. Now in our case, the SDP is not enabled to show all the data. Let me just go to the type. If we just expand, here it will show only employee ID and the employee name. Let us enable the age as well to show on the screen. Now this time it will show the age of the person. Suppose if I want to know the age of employee 10, then I can show like this. The age of employee ID 10 is 31, that is over here. So like this we can build a Visual Builder application page that is to auto populate the select single component with the previous data on the page load.